Hi guys, it's Christine. It's been a while, but I'm here with two tag videos. I'm going to roll the autumn tag and the poetry tag into one video. So I'm going to do the autumn tag first, and then I will give you the poetry tag with one of the books that I chose for the autumn tag. So with that being said, let's get started. So I wrote notes down for everything, if you can see that. I don't know, maybe... Probably not. But the first question for the autumn tag is, what is your favorite thing about autumn? Like most people, I really enjoy that the weather gets a lot cooler. Living in Iowa during the summer can get pretty sticky. But I realized when I was coming out of work today that one of my favorite things about autumn is that it's quiet. The birds are starting to fly south and the cicadas are doing whatever cicadas do. And so they're not drowning out every other sound possible in the world when I try to sit outside and read in the afternoon, which is pretty awesome. The second question is, what book on your shelf reminds you of school? So for that I picked the Quran because I read parts of this for my Islam class that I took my sophomore year of college, which is one of the best classes I ever took, and I really enjoyed reading parts of the Quran and then just sitting around talking about it and doing religious literary analysis. I've got post-it notes in here. I think I probably even underlined stuff in here, and the first thing I ever had published was a literary analysis thing on the Surah of the Bees, which I think is Surah 15, if I'm not completely mistaken. Surah 16 is bees. But yeah, so I've got highlights in there, and I just remember very favorably being in class in the fall and reading this and having my first exposure to what would become and is now a lifelong academic passion. So thanks, Quran. The third question is, what book on your shelf has an autumn related cover? And I don't really have a whole lot of season themed covers, so I picked Faithful Place by Tana French because the leaves kind of look brownish, like it's the fall. I think that counts. I'm sticking with it. The fourth question is, what is your favorite horror or Halloween story? And I have one for each. So for the Halloween story, I'm going to pick Scary Stories by Alvin Schwartz because these books scared the crap out of me, and it's currently Banned Books Week, and this is my favorite of the banned books. This was actually on a banned booth table when I was in high school, and I completely forgot that these stories existed, and when I saw the book on like the table at Barnes & Noble, I almost had a heart attack because all of a sudden I was just like, no, that horrible, scary, terrible book is actually in existence, like that's a real thing. But of course then I immediately bought it and I've perused it several times since, and the pictures are still just the scariest thing. They still scare the crap out of me. Like, even the ones that aren't that scary are really scary. Even the ones that are scary still give me nightmares a little bit to this day. And my favorite horror story is a story that some people don't really think is horror, but I definitely jump on the horror bandwagon, and that is House of Leaves. I've talked about this book a lot, but I really, really like it, and when I first read it, there's so much that deals with empty space and the dark, and I live in the basement in my house, that I was like petrified to leave my room in the morning. Definitely my favorite horror book because I don't really read a whole lot of really scary stuff, but this scared the crap out of me, and it lingered. The fifth question is, what is your favorite horror film? And I have two. They're kind of tied. I really like The Shining. The Shining is a really good one, and I just think that's a really cool film. But for scare value, definitely The Exorcist. I really enjoy exorcism movies, and The Exorcist just scares the crap out of me. I feel like stuff scaring the crap out of me is a theme today, but it really genuinely does. It makes me fearful to have children, because what if my kids get possessed? Like, I wouldn't be able to love them quite as much afterwards, because that's some scary shit right there. The sixth question is, what are your most anticipated autumn book releases? And I'm looking forward to Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken. That comes out in October or November, I don't know. I'm really excited for Donna Tartt's new novel, The Goldfinch, to come out in October. I've made a whole bunch of my friends sign up for the Goodreads giveaway, so I'm hoping that having 3 names in instead of 1, I might be able to get a copy because I really, really want to read it, but I don't want to have to buy a hardcover copy, so fingers crossed. And the other book I was really looking forward to this fall just came out today. Today? Yesterday? One of those days, and that is Dr. Sleep by Stephen King. I ran down to my library today to get this. There's only 1 copy left out of like 12 in all of my local libraries, like my city metro libraries or whatever. So I have 10 days to read this. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I sat outside eating my lunch today and read like 50 pages. So far it's really interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes with the plot because it's not totally established yet. I haven't even met all the front flap cover characters yet, but I have faith. The only Stephen King book that I really liked was The Shining, and so I think this one has a lot of potential, and I hope that I'm not disappointed because I was really looking forward to this all summer. Number 7 is what are your most anticipated autumn film releases, and I actually like never go to the movies. I don't keep up on movies at all. I kind of just wait for Tumblr to tell me the movies I need to see, so I'm not really looking forward to any films, but if anyone has recommendations for stuff that's coming out soon, let me know and maybe I'll go see a movie, but I don't like paying for movies very much because I'd much rather sit at home and watch TV like a bum. And number 8, what are 3 books that you're looking forward to reading this fall? Mine are House of Leaves, which I already showed you, The Mirage by Matt Ruff. I've decided this is definitely going to be on my fall list, even though I've done a really bad job of following my fall TBR. I'm really sorry. I just haven't really been reading too much since the 5th wave, and then I just keep getting drawn in by library books. And so I just add those on to my fall list too, but I'm going to have to really kick it into gear in October and November if I'm going to finish all the books I put on that list. And the other book that I'm really looking forward to reading this fall is The Gates. I just checked this out from the library too. It matches the cover for The Book of Lost Things by John Connolly, which is awesome. If I really like this, I'll probably put both on my Christmas list because I love these covers and I would love to have my own copies, not only to lend out, but just to marvel at because this artwork is gorgeous. So now, out of those books, I'm going to pick one to do the poetry tag. The poetry tag, basically, you just pick a book, you go through. I decided I was going to pick 10 lines or sentences from the book, and you're supposed to cut them up when you're done and put them in a bag and draw them out. But I'm too lazy to do that, and that sounds like a lot of work, and my hands would get tired from writing so much. So I just picked the 10 sentences, and I'm going to read them as a poem in the order that I picked them, and I think it actually works out pretty well. I thought a really good one for this would be House of Leaves. Oh, it's so heavy! So I'm going to be reading you a weird, scrapped together House of Leaves poem, and the disjointed and weird dark nature of the poem I think really goes well with House of Leaves. So marvel at my weird book poetry tag poem. Yeah. Nice to meet you. Time finished between the space of 2 frames. A monk joins an abbey. Booze and women are one thing, but when he begins dragging himself forward again, like a bad dream, the hour heaving and pitching toward a profound darkness, wax, though, proves a little more fractious. Something seemed wrong, very wrong. Karen was not the only one who was kept in the dark about Delisle. So I took those from all over the hundreds of pages of House of Leaves, and they just happened to come together in a very nice, vague, confusing poem. So that's awesome. I am not going to tag anyone particular to do either of these tags because I wasn't even tagged to do the autumn tag, and I was tagged by Lainey to do the poetry tag. I'll put her link down below, and I'll put a link to the original videos for both of those tags in the description also. But she tagged me a really long time ago to do the poetry tag, so it's kind of up in the air. Whoever wants to do it can do it. If you do the tag, let me know. Give me a comment down below or a video response because I would love to see what you do with it. And that is it. That is my mishmash of tags into one video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I may or may not be making another video soon. I've been pretty bogged down at work and I'm working on grad school applications right now, which is taking up way more of my time than I thought because I spend way too much of the time that I should be spending writing statements and researching grad programs, just daydreaming about university campuses. And that is it, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will speak to you again soon, I hope. Bye!